Welcome back to Utility Sports, everyone. And oh my goodness, do we have some absolute breaking news here? I cannot believe this. Wojnarowski and Shams Charania both broke the news here. Brooklyn is acquiring Houston Rockets guard James Harden in a blockbuster trade. And oh my goodness, I cannot believe what is going on right now. Here as well from Shams Charania, let's pull up his tweet real quick. This is absolutely insane here. I just can't honestly believe the news. I thought he was going to get traded. I thought it was going to be Philadelphia. We see him here getting traded to the Brooklyn Nets, and here it is. Nets are trading for all NBA star James Harden and sending four first-round picks and 4 draft swaps to the Houston Rockets. Karis LeVert, Jarrett Allen are also being moved. Could be another team or two involved. Now, also from Wojnarowski, I'm hearing there is more going on. This is absolutely incredible news. Honestly, unbelievable stuff that is happening here. Let's see if we can refresh this page and get more Wojnarowski information. He did just tweet again. Yep, here it is. Brooklyn's acquiring James Harden in 3-way deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers, Karis LeVert, Dante Exum, Rodions Kurucs, 4 first-rounders, including the Cavs' 2022 first via the Bucks, and 4 Nets pick swaps to the Rockets. Jarrett Allen and Taurean Prince to the Cavaliers. Very interesting there that the Rockets did not want Jarrett Allen. Obviously, a big part of that would be Christian Wood, I'm assuming, being there. So Karis LeVert is going to the Houston Rockets. We see Cleveland get involved here, send out Dante Exum and a 2022 first to get in Jarrett Allen. I really do like that, actually, for Cleveland. Obviously, they got Andre Drummond there, but I think that's going to be the final season for him. And oh my goodness, I cannot believe the news. Houston has traded James Harden. His tenure there with the Rockets has ended. We obviously saw today what DeMarcus Cousins was saying, what John Wall was saying, and basically what Christian Wood was saying as well. The 3 of them did not want to play with James Harden anymore after his recent comments. He did not go to the practice today. Steven Silas, their head coach, had some negative words about him as well. And now James Harden has been dealt to the Brooklyn Nets. This instantly puts Brooklyn in the driving seat in the East and probably in the NBA. A trio of James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. And the big thing here is with Dinwiddie out, they did not have to give up Spencer Dinwiddie. They did give up massive draft pick compensation, though. 8 first-round picks, essentially, with the rights to the 4 pick swaps for the Rockets. Also 4 first-rounders. I'm assuming most of those will be unprotected or very lightly protected. And wow, oh wow, this is incredibly changing news. This changes the whole landscape of the NBA, to be completely honest with you. I had thought the Clippers and the Lakers were going to be the 2 favorites this year yet again. Now Brooklyn comes in, swoops in, gets James Harden. The Brooklyn Nets are going to be an absolutely scary team. We just put together a video of them on the channel, some of their issues. Now they bring in James Harden. He gets to play with Kevin Durant again. Also gets to play with Kyrie Irving, a player he had some good USA team practice moments with. And now, wow, Karis LeVert going out. Honestly, if I'm the Rockets, I wouldn't have accepted this trade. Karis LeVert is 26 years old already. He's not a young guy you can develop yet. You are getting what he is. Yes, he's a good player, but I just don't think this is enough. These 4 first-rounders, yes, those could be a few years out. Those could turn into really good assets, but the Rockets in the short term are going to be close to brutal, if I'm going to be completely honest. John Wall and Christian Wood are going to have to do a lot of heavy carrying for that team. I'm not sure if I see them as a playoff team anymore. Karis LeVert's going to come in there. They still have a good team at the moment, but their long-term security is not there. I just don't know what they're going to be a year after this season. For example, those picks from the Nets are likely going to be lower-end first-round selections at some point. It could turn around into higher-end picks. But Brooklyn right now is the winner of this deal. I'm going to say that immediately. They did not give up a ton of players, only gave up LeVert and Kurucs and Allen. DeAndre Jordan is going to be the starting center. Spencer Dinwiddie stays around in Brooklyn. That is very big here. I'm honestly a little unsure. Oh, they also lost Taurean Prince. I'm looking at the money here. LeVert's extension obviously came into play with this, matching the money. Oh my gosh. Okay, there is another part of the deal that is just breaking now. Oh my gosh, let me pull this up. Shams Charania just tweeted this. I cannot believe what is going on. I was watching the Pacers game last night, and this is now happening. The Indiana Pacers are moving Victor Oladipo to the Rockets for the package around Caris LeVert. Let me change my stance on the Rockets here. They get their shooting guard. Now, where is John Wall going? Because the Rockets bring in LeVert and Oladipo, 2 guards, and they have John Wall on the roster. Obviously, Eric Gordon is probably on his way out as well, I'm assuming. Let's go back to Wojnarowski here. This is an absolutely insane breaking news here at the moment. If you guys haven't already subscribed to Utility Sports, we cover all breaking news and everything like that. And now here Woj says, sources with Ramona Shelburne, Brooklyn sends 3 unprotected first-rounders, 2022, 2024, and 2026 in deal, plus pick swaps in 2021. That will be this draft, 2023, 2025, and 2027. Rockets get Cleveland's 2022 first-rounder pick from the Bucks. That's obviously the one we had already talked about. James Harden wanted to be reunited with Kevin Durant. Obviously, we had talked about that already too. Harden, KD, and Kyrie Irving are all teammates now. This is probably the best big 3 of all time already just on paper looking at it. Now, the fit, I think, is going to be a little weird. Kyrie Irving and KD, both ball dominant players, obviously. I need to figure out what the compensation is for Indiana here. I don't really know what Indiana is getting out of this. I would assume Eric Gordon. I'm trying to figure that part out here because Indiana sent Oladipo. So unless one of these picks are going back to Indiana, I'm a little unsure what their asking price was on Victor Oladipo. So obviously now looking at the Rockets here real quick, you've got John Wall there. Victor Oladipo comes in. Caris LeVert comes in. Still Christian Wood, still Boogie Cousins. That is a very formidable lineup. Now, if Eric Gordon's there, that's an even stronger team. I don't see them having top-end potential. I think they'd be a first-round exit possibly this season. I think the team would split up after that a little bit more with John Wall maybe out. I had talked about him possibly being a Clipper by the end of this season. But now with them bringing in Victor Oladipo, I find that a little less likely. I cannot believe it. Sixers do not get James Harden. The Brooklyn Nets pull the trigger on him, bring him in, gave up a ton of assets in the deal. And wow, oh wow, let's go back to Sharania quick, see what he's saying, if there's anything new. Rockets are acquiring Caris LeVert and sending LeVert to Indiana. LeVert isn't even going to be in Houston. LeVert is in Indiana. I love this trade for the Indiana Pacers. They get younger. They get healthier. They don't necessarily get better, but I think that their ceiling's a little bit higher. I think LeVert fits their roster a little bit better. Now with oh my gosh. Okay, so I really don't understand this for the Houston Rockets. I'm really not sure. LeVert goes to Indiana in this deal. LeVert does not go to Houston. Let me correct that from earlier. LeVert is not in Houston. Victor Oladipo is in Houston. That is incredibly big news. I cannot believe that. I need to find, okay, Victor Oladipo. Now this is incredible. So the Rockets are going to have John Wall, Victor Oladipo. Oh, man, you'd think they'd probably bring someone like Justin Holiday in with this deal as well. I'm not really sure yet at this point if that's what they were able to do. Let me hit refresh here again on Shams. Really big shout out to Shams, Wojnarowski, all those guys that are reporting right now for the NBA. Really big deal. Wow. So, okay. Geez. So the Rockets get a ton of picks, ton of assets there, have a lot of trade capital, and they decide to spend LeVert immediately, send him to Indiana to get Oladipo. I just don't really know about that for Houston. I had already questioned if I would have done the deal for Houston, pulling in James Harden. Now I don't think I would have taken in Oladipo for LeVert. I would have kept on to LeVert. That is an interesting move for them for sure. If they could still be good with Oladipo there, don't get me wrong. But I don't necessarily think that that's the move they should have made. I think LeVert could have been a better fit for them long-term, kind of bridged together a few years for them. Instead, they decided to go with Victor Oladipo. Interesting move for Indiana here. So Indiana is now going to look at Malcolm Brogdon, Caris LeVert in that backcourt together. TJ Warren at the 3, Sabonis at the 4. Oh, maybe Miles Turner's a part of this deal. I don't know. Indiana have been trying to move off of him. That'll be something to watch for, as well as if Miles Turner is a really big piece in this. If he goes somewhere, Brooklyn wouldn't have the money to bring him in. Houston possibly could, but I don't really see it with them bringing in Oladipo. Oladipo is expiring. LeVert obviously makes $18 million a year, 2 years, 36. Let's go back to Woj real quick and see what he is saying on this, if there's any other news. Obviously, really big breaking news here. It looks like we have a 4-team deal here between the Indiana Pacers, Cleveland Cavaliers, Houston Rockets, and Brooklyn Nets. Obviously, the big thing, James Harden is going to be a Brooklyn Net. He's going to play with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. I love this for Brooklyn. They've got so much better. Their team is incredible. Honestly, looking at them on paper, they're probably the strongest and best big three of all time. I firmly believe that when I look at the talent. Kyrie Irving was a better player than Chris Bosh. I think Dwayne Wade is a better offensive player than, James Harden's a better offensive player than Dwayne Wade. And Kevin Durant is in that conversation with LeBron James. Arguably, I don't think he's there. But looking at this, it's an insane trio. Probably the best team in the league now. And wow, oh wow, that is remarkable. Obviously, Houston's made quite a few moves. Remember, they got a pick from Washington as well. Now they add 4 draft picks, 1 from the Milwaukee Bucks via Cleveland, 3 from the Brooklyn Nets that are unprotected, 4 pick swaps from Brooklyn. Brooklyn is not going to likely have a top 20 pick for the next 7 or 8 years, especially with the pick swaps. This is just incredible. Wow, I'm really taken aback here, honestly. Caris LeVert goes to Indiana. I really like this for Indiana. Their lineup gets younger. I think they got better. I think it fits their window a little bit better. They've been looking to move off Oladipo, who's expiring. The Rockets take a gamble on him. Will they re-sign him? Who knows? Are they going to reroute him? Possibly. And Cleveland brings in Jarrett Allen. I really like that move. I think that they bought at a pretty good price for a really young quality center. I had been talking about how Brooklyn's going to move off of either him or DeAndre Jordan because the two of them kind of just do the same thing and they can't really coexist together with the whole thing. So here is the full current trade as we look at it. Let me pull this up on screen here. This is Shams again. Let's pull this tweet up for us now. Full current trade. Victor Oladipo, Dante Exum, Rodions Kurucs, 3 Brooklyn firsts, as I said, a Milwaukee first, 4 Brooklyn first round swaps in the years 2021, 2023, 2025, and 2027 all go to Houston, all of these assets. The Nets get James Harden, obviously the prize player, the big piece in this deal. The Pacers get Caris LeVert and I guess a second rounder. Love this deal for the Indiana Pacers. Really love this for the Indiana Pacers. The Cavaliers get Jarrett Allen and Taurean Prince. Really improve in the short term and long term, both younger players. Both guys that are going to fit into their core that they have there. Gives them a little bit of flexibility with Drummond too if they decide they want to trade him or kind of what they want to do with him yet. Now here, you've got to be looking at the Rockets. They gave up, in this deal, they gave up James Harden. They got 4 first-round picks unprotected, 4 first-round swaps, Victor Oladipo, Dante Exum, and Rodions Kurucs. Is that enough? Is that enough for me? I don't think it is, to be completely honest. I think James Harden is worth well more than that. I think that they should have prioritized getting Ben Simmons and an asset. They did not do that. None of these guys, I think, are guarantees to be anything long-term. Victor Oladipo has been really shaky since his injury. Exum and Kurucs are throw-ins for salary purposes. 3 first-rounders here. These are going to be likely low selections. Maybe 2026 could be higher. Maybe 2027 could be pretty high for Brooklyn if Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie all retire or move on. But these picks here are probably going to be a little meaningless. This Milwaukee first, that's going to be right around low 20s, maybe even pick 30 this year. That's unprotected, though. And the Cavaliers, they got Jarrett Allen for that pick and Taurean Prince. I really love that for the Cavs. I think the Cavs are a big winner in this trade. I think that the Rockets are the biggest loser in this trade. I think the Pacers are a winner, and I think the Brooklyn Nets are a big-time winner. I think the Nets are the biggest winner, and I think that they're going to win the NBA championship this season. I'm going to put it out there. Obviously, Dinwiddie's out right now. That injury is a really big deal. But James Harden, DeAndre Jordan, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, all in that starting lineup, that is going to be scary. Joe Harris is also there. They have the shooting. They have the defense. They have the rim protection. They have the ball handlers. They are the most complete team in the NBA right now. They did not have to give up Dinwiddie. They're going to have to figure out their bench a little bit. Chris Chiozza is going to have to step up. I thought he was a pretty solid player, though, for them in the bubble last year. I think he has a lot of potential as a backup point guard in this league. The Brooklyn Nets are the big winner in this trade. The Indiana Pacers got LeVert. I like that. The Cavs bought Jarrett Allen for a cheap price. Really like that. But ultimately, the Houston Rockets did not get enough. Even with 4 first-rounders and 4 pick swaps, they did not get enough for the multi-time MVP finalist, James Harden. I think that this is going to come back to bite them long-term. Obviously, the circumstances needed them to move him quickly. But did they move him too quickly? Time will tell. The Brooklyn Nets won this trade in the short term, probably in the long term if they win a championship or two. James Harden is a Brooklyn Net at the end of the day. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you in the next one.